and welcome to Gaelic Football Views on CalvinTV.com.
I'm Damien and Micky Brennan, and we're joined as always every week now by our resident in here, Benny Sheridan from Sheridan Insurance. He's going to make the presentation for the Player of the Week for week 3 of the Sheridan Insurance Breffni All-Stars to Owen Somerville from Rammer. So we'll let Benny take over from it.
Congratulations, Owen.
Thanks very much. Cheers, right.
Great pleasure for Sheridan Insurances to present to an up-and-coming young star from Rammer. Well done.
Thanks very much, mate. Cheers.
Owen, just to talk to you briefly, it was you received the Player of the Week for your performance against Kingscourt. It was a tough game. It was your first outing in the championship, but he's got into the swing in the second half.
Yeah, we were just scraped by in the end. We were looking forward to that game for a while. We had about 3 weeks to prepare. At the start of the year, the draw was either the losers or Mullahoran, and Kingscourt were going to play them. So, with a fair idea, it was going to be a tough game either way. Coming up against Kingscourt, they bet us last year in the championship. Could have won that game, but we knew it was going to be very tough. They have a lot of serious footballers, and training went well. We came in a bit cold. They had 2 championship games under our belt before us. We might come in a bit cold, but training went well, and maybe took us a while to get going in the game. The first half we were off the pace, and that would have to be improving. If we play like that again, I'd say we might be in trouble. But in the second half we came into it well and just got there in the end. It went down to the wire like a lot of championship games do, so it's good to get over the line, yeah.
There's great underage structure in Rammer. Obviously, the number of minor titles at Division 1 in the last few years, and it's the younger players that really brought you through that game. Like, people look to James McEnroe and Jack Brady, but it was the likes of yourself, young McDermott, Micheál Smart, Conor Bradley, James Bradley, all young fellas that really dragged you through that game.
Well, we're lucky to have very good coaches there in the club. I was lucky to be in a very good team coming up to the ranks. We won at most age groups. Even the minor team there this year is up in Division 1. They played in the league final there a week or 2 ago. So we're lucky to always be in Division 1. We always tend to have good enough numbers. They're coming up against strong amalgamation teams there, and it's good to be competing and even to be learning from those lads, like the likes of James McEnroe and their lads like that are in with Calvin setups. It's good to be in training with them, and for young lads to be training away with them, and it's good experience to be with them, yeah.
Yeah, some of the older heads came in and done a good job at the weekend for you against Kilgarry. It was a close game, but Shane Cole would be one of the elder statesmen, but he still has a good right boot on him.
Yeah, Shane is one of the older lads, right? He wouldn't like to be hearing that now, but I know Shane's still at it there, yeah. Obviously you need the older players in championship football. You know yourself, like it's all well and good having success underage, but you want to be starting turning this into success at senior level sometimes. So yeah, the older lads stepped up well the last day. Everyone had to dig in. It was another real tough game. It was similar to enough I suppose to the Kingscourt game. We started maybe poorly enough, but gradually came back in and kept at it, and eventually got there in the end. We knew Kilgarry were going to be very tough, and you've players like Martin Riley there, and I know a few of the younger lads there. They all have a lot of pace in their team, and they really put it up to us there, and just about got over the line again. So have to improve big time, I'd say, for the quarterfinals. I'd say there'll be a lot of teams looking to get us after our first 2 showing. So
I don't know about that now. In the last couple of years, Owen, you've kind of breezed your way into quarterfinals and semi-finals, and then just didn't have the gumption to finish it off and win the championship. But this year, you're going slowly. You're going under the radar a little bit, and as you said already, like, you're after naming some quality players in that team. And could it be your year to win the senior championship?
I don't know. It's a long way to go yet. Now there's all the big teams are still there. You've seen there at the weekend. Kingscourt's met one of the big guns, and Cuchullin's put it up to them. Like, and you wouldn't have been expecting that. It's all on the day, really. On championship football, you don't know what's going to happen, but see, all the big teams are still there. The Gales, Mullahoran, Ballina, all them are still there. So they're the ones with championship medals. We're trying to get our first. So it's a long way to go yet, wouldn't we?
And when it comes to training, you've Gary Farrell over the team. If you're messing about, do you get hit with a big shoulder like one of the Kilgarry lads did?
No, I didn't see the incident now at the weekend, but I know Gary's very passionate now, and he puts a lot into it now, and I didn't see that particular incident, and he was getting a bit.
It's like Brendan Rodgers or Jose Mourinho. No, didn't see it.
Yeah, he was getting a bit of slagging about it after now, but that's what you want. You want, if everyone had his passion now, and that sort of passion would be doing well. So
he's an excellent manager overall, though.
Yeah, this is my first year in with the senior team, and I'm enjoying working under him now. He has us working hard, training hard every day. We go out training, so that's all you can want from a manager.
And very briefly, you're in college in Dublin. You're up in St Pat's.
Yeah.
You were part of the trench team last year, were you?
No, I was fresher last year. I only played fresher. Maybe this year now, and once the club is over, so the club runs over, I might get involved there. Be hard team to make now.
You might have an Ulster club championship to go into, so you might.
I don't know, I wouldn't be looking that far ahead now. Just next game we'll be focusing on now.
He's them well drilled anyway. So
he definitely does, but you wouldn't expect anything different from Gary. Benny, again, it's a privilege, but some young lads, it's good to see you. You're only 18, I think, Owen.
Yeah.
So it's good to see young lads getting these awards too.
Absolutely, and the other thing that as this Sheridan Insurance's Breffni All-Stars rolls on, the competitiveness and the closeness of the championship, that's one of the things that is very clear to me, that all the players we've met to date and reports from the matches and all that club football in County Cavan is very much alive and well.
Yeah, it definitely is, and anyone who was in Kingspan Breffni Park at the weekend will definitely agree with that. But we'll be going through.
Yesterday, though.
There was a few, but that's another day's conversation. But Benny, thanks. Oh, there we go. Thanks as always for coming in, and we'll see you next week. And Owen, congratulations on the award. Well done and well deserved. Best of luck in the rest of the championship. So we're going to roll on. We'll go straight in because we haven't got an ad break. We're going to get into the results.
Cian Mackey's after hitting the jack, Damien.
He is, yeah, not like him. We'll pull that in. So, perfect. So folks, we're going to get straight on and into the results from we'll start off actually with the All-County Football League, because there was a very important game in Division 1B where Arva were taking on Drumgoon. This was over in Arva, and Arva continued their march through that division by winning 3 goals and 9 points to 2 goals and 8, so a 4-point win for Arva, as they really they're guaranteed to have a fighting chance for promotion now.
Yeah.
We'll see the table just coming up on your screen now in a second.
And what I like about it, you can see there on the screen there that the Arva are now top of the table. I think they were joint top with Gowna before that game, but now they've put a little bit of distance between themselves and Gowna, 2 points with 1 game left, and Cucullins are in third on 11 points, so they're guaranteed a playoff.
At least.
If they draw or win their last game,
yeah,
they're straight through into Division 1A, which is phenomenal. That'll be 2 promotions in 2 years. From
it'll be 3 and 3.
Will it be 3 and 3?
Because they went from Division 3 to Division 2, Division 2 to Division 1B, Division 1B to Division 1A. It's 3 and 3 years. And I'd say it's probably the first club to have ever done it.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't traditionally 4 divisions in Cavan, but it's a wonderful achievement for Arva, and it sets them up nicely too in their pursuit to maybe make it back-to-back championships.
Exactly, yeah, and you know, they're one team that I won't be ruling out of the intermediate championship. Definitely not.
Definitely not.
You know.
No.
Couple of big guns left in the intermediate championship, but they'll have their say yet.
Oh, they will. They definitely will. So we'll move on to the Cully's Craft Bakery Junior Championship. There was 3 games on this weekend. The first of them, well, sorry, it wasn't the first of them, but the first result that we're going to be bringing you is the Ballymacue Cornafane result, and this ended up in a draw. It was a goal and 8 apiece, which is a good result for Ballymacue. In fairness, they lost the first 2 games. Yeah. They pretty much had nothing to play for. Cornafane, a draw was enough to see them go through top of that group, so straight into the semi-final. So it's a very good result there for Ballymacue.
It was the group of death, really. You know, Ballymacue going from a final last year to only getting a point in the qualification of it this year. You know, it's disappointing for Ballymacue. Okay, then the result, getting a draw with the table toppers was good, but it doesn't mean anything to them for the rest of their championship, unfortunately. And the next result we have for you in that Cully Craft Bakery Junior Football Championship is Mount Nugent and Knockbride. This was played on Friday night, and Mount Nugent won this well on a scoreline of 3 goals and 10 points to Knockbride's 12 points. A result which meant on score difference that the 3 teams in their division ended up on 2 points, but Kildallan, having lost to Knockbride by 5 points and beaten Mount Nugent by through 2 points meant that Kildallan were gone, because McNugent and Knockbride had a better score difference than them in the group, which was a big shock really. It was if you were looking at it, you would have said Kildallan topped the group and a fight for second place.
Yeah, possibly, all right. But it was another tough group. Like 3 teams that were kind of very similar, as it proved. They all beat each other in the end, and there was never going to be a huge amount between any of the teams in it. But it just goes to show the 3-team group makes it very, very difficult, because they're you lose one game and you have the chance of going out, and that's it. Yeah,
you lose one game and then it's knockout from there on.
Yeah,
that's it.
So it means McNugent go through top of that group, and Knockbride go in through the back door.
Interestingly enough, in that game, the cornerback for McNugent, wearing number 4, got a hat-trick.
Kevin Plunkett
scored
brilliant.
3 goals. Now, he was lined out at number 4, but he pushed up on Michael Clark for Knockbride, who was playing centre back, and he got on the end of 3 attacks and put the ball in the net. Like, they were all well taken goals, but his last goal was a phenomenal goal.
That's right.
Absolutely incredible.
Cracker.
It was maybe it was around the 21-metre line to the right hand side of the goals and far top left hand corner. It was a fantastic goal, I have to say.
And it was actually that goal that ended up being the difference in them topping the group and coming second.
And coming second in the group. So
it
means that they go straight, Nugent goes straight through as table toppers, and Knockbride go into a play-off.
And then the third game in the Cully's Craft Bakery Junior Football Championship was between Templeport and Shannon Gales. This was essentially for second place in the same group as Ballymacue Cornafane, and Templeport came away with a 15-point win here, 1 goal and 20 points to 1 goal and 5. This was down in Corla. But probably not a surprise, a good, strong Templeport team.
Very good Templeport team, and to me, it's between Templeport and Cornafane to win the junior championship now. They'd be my favourites, just from watching
the games. Yeah. I'd have to agree with you all right there. And, the Templeport have to come through though that backdoor system yet, so they've difficult task ahead. Knockbride and I think it's Muncher Connacht are the other 2 teams that they'll have to play. So that draw will be made later on tonight by the CCC. We'll move on to the Hotel Kilmore Intermediate Football Championship, and the first result in this saw Swanland Bar.
I'll read this one out. The first result in the Hotel Kilmore Intermediate Football Championship was,
difficult.
Swanland Bar 13 points, Killincare 1 goal and 9. This was played in Ballyhaise Sunday afternoon, and by all accounts, Damien, you were very unlucky. Damien is the manager of Killincare, in case you didn't know.
Yeah, probably unlucky. All right.
Missed a penalty.
Missed quite a few chances, hit the post a few times, but played well. The lads really played well, and they worked extremely hard. And Liam McCabe had an outstanding game on Christopher Corn. Christopher Corn is such a top quality footballer.
Talented footballer.
He's just brilliant, and he was a player we had earmarked that had to be stopped, and Liam McCabe done a great job. Noel McGovern was on Grode McKiernan, and he kept them to 3 points, which was a good enough return. Noel played very well, but Grode is still just that bit. He just has quality. His 3 points were all difficult. There was no easy scores that he got. Yeah. Noel was tied to him all the way through, but there was some real good performance. Damien Sexton was probably man of the match for me. Corner forward, scored 1-3. Was unlucky maybe not to get another goal. And actually goalkeeper pulled off a very good save on him, so he was a live wire. Peter McCabe had an excellent game. Emmett Fitzsimons, his ball handling was absolutely brilliant. Conditions were horrible. It was very, very heavy rain, but on the Swanland Bar side, I think it was Greg McGovern got them in front 30th minute of the second half. It was the first time they led, but it was Greg McGovern coming up the field, and he got the score for them, and he had a good game, in fairness to him. And Mark Cunningham was quite good as well. He's he's got ability, he's got serious talent. So there was a few good performances there. Tommy Layden at wing half back, it was very good. Damien's brother,
right?
I think he is. But yeah, he had a very good game too. But it was disappointing because, like I said, we were leading from start to finish. Well, sorry, we didn't lead start to the 59th minute.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's the way it goes. You have to see these things out.
I spoke to a couple of lads from Swanland Bar today, and they were saying that they stole that game, like they really did. And you know, it might be something that'll stand to Swanland Bar going through that championship.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it'll take a good team to beat Swanland Bar. Like they're on their day. They have as good a footballers as there is in the intermediate, like any team at all, and they didn't do themselves justice against Ballyhaise. They played well against Shercock. We probably were the better team yesterday, so they're due a big performance now going into a quarter final against Belturbet, and you know that's going to be a very, very tough game. Like we'll see as it goes, as we get closer to it. There's a week break now between them, but we'll see. That's going to be a real ding-dong battle, because they had a league game earlier on in the year, and by all accounts it was a tetchy affair. So it'll be one to watch.
It's a very despondent, sad set here today. Damien lost with Killincare, knocked them out. Swanland Bar knocked Killincare out of the championship yesterday. And I myself, playing with Simonstown on Saturday night, lost in the championship, and we went out of it. So, you know, we're probably a little bit just under the weather here today, but we'll
soldier on.
The show must go on.
The show must go on. And speaking of going on, the other game in the Hotel Kilmore Intermediate Football Championship.
Seamless link.
Absolutely perfect.
Absolutely.
Well, it was until we stopped it. But Drumlane were taking on Lara. This was on Saturday evening in Killigarry, and Drumlane came away with a 3-point win. It finished 13 points to 10. I didn't get hearing much about it.
I heard a little bit about it today. Drumlane still not firing on all cylinders at the moment. Found it very hard to beat Lara in this championship match the other night. Very wasteful, I believe. And you know, they're just going through a little bit of a patch at the moment where, you know, it just needs to click for them. And if it does click for them again, they'll be very hard beaten as well.
They had Kieran Riley back, who was a big plus in their forward line. He's not a natural scorer, but he's a creator, a real good creator. They seem to be relying on Ryan Conley, and he is coming up with the goods. And down the back, like they're very strong. I heard Rudden at full forward for Lara was very, very good,
right,
from what I heard now. But that was the only kind of report I heard back from it. But it means now that Drumlane march on into the quarter-finals. So the Hotel Kilmore Intermediate Championship quarter-finals are as follows. Ballyhaise will take on Butler's Bridge. Arva take on Drung. It's now Belturbet against Swanland Bar, and Balliobor taking on Drumlane. So like there's real good games there. Like you have two games that look like they're definite favourites. You know, Ballyhaise and Arva will be definite favourites going into those games.
But the four strongest teams that I would pick would be Ballyhaise, Arva, Swanland Bar and Drumlane out of those 8, and none of them are meeting each other.
Yeah.
So it could make whoever wins, like if any of those favourites were to lose, it'll take a good team to beat them. But if the four of them win, it's going to make for some serious semi-finals as well.
Exactly. It's going to be good now. But then, like as I say, Ballyhaise and Arva would be favourites against Butler's Bridge and Drung. The other two games to me are 50-50s. Yeah. Like there's not a lot between them, and it can come down to very, very fine margins. But
Belturbet and Swanland Bar, if Belturbet can get goals, you know, like, and which they're capable of doing, they could get a win there. And then Balliobor and Drumlane, it could be down to the fact that Michael Argue is back for Balliobor.
That's it.
You know, he could be the difference between them two teams. But, you know, it's all set up for a good.
It really is. Yeah. The intermediate championship's really heating up now. So, as I say, that's not for a week. There's a week gap in it anyway, as far as I'm aware.
They're not on this weekend.
No.
Yeah. So we move on then to the Hotel Kilmore Senior Football Championship, and the first game here we have down for being played on the weekend was Cavan Gales taking on Lacken, and a game that we thought Lacken would probably tighten Cavan Gales. They didn't really. It was a 1 goal and 12 points to 9. It was a 6-point win for Cavan Gales. And they're marching on, nobody's saying much about them, and they're just doing their job. I believe it was very clinical.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with you that nobody's saying much about them. Cavan Gales are everybody's talking it's their championship. They haven't won. You know, from people I'm talking to anyway, they can't see anybody being able to put it up to Cavan Gaels this year. And from looking at the championship game so far, I'd have to agree. Cavan Gaels look the real deal. They've such a potent attack. But Dara Sexton for me is doing a great job, completely different job. But he's filling the boots of Chesty, which are big boots to fill. And he's doing it very, very well. He's sitting back in the pocket. He's not coming knees up out the way Chesty used to drive out of defence for them, but he's holding the centre half back position, and his use of the ball is clinical. His reading of the game is exceptional. You know, there's a lot to be said for Dara Sexton, and he was a big loss to Cavan Gaels last year. He didn't play much I think it was due to injury, but people will remember him 2 years ago with the Cavan under 21s when they won Ulster. He was centre back and controlling the situation then. So he was very, very good. Martin Dunn was pretty good as well. For me, actually, the story of the game was probably the two Grahams. Paul Graham scored 3 points, 2 on the outside of the right foot and 1 on the left foot, and he controlled midfield, which I didn't think I say he controlled midfield. He was the best of the 4 midfielders that were there. But now Thomas Galligan was very good as well for Lacken. But Paul Graham, his use of the ball was excellent. His fitness was brilliant, but he's got physically strong. He's actually
young players as well playing in the field. Great to see it.
Yeah, and like both. Well, sorry, Paul would be 21 and Thomas is only 18 or 19 years of age. So, but where Paul Graham, probably a few years ago, you'd say he's just a bit too thin to make it. He seems to be doing the right work because his shoulders are getting broad. Now, I know he had a shoulder operation earlier on in the year, so he had to do a lot of work on it, but it's standing to him. He's physically very strong, and Andy Graham's movement inside was just brilliant. He reminded me of the older brother, the way Micky used to move. Like, Micky's movement was so intelligent and all the time, and Andy was the same. I think he might have only scored a point, but he was actually outstanding
for other players
all the time. But winning the ball in the danger area, laying it off, and then the shooter coming off, like Martin Dunn coming off the shoulder, or Paul O'Connor coming off the shoulder, and he, you know, he's such a team player. He really stepped up. I have to say now,
this Cavan Gaels team are starting to mature.
They really are, and it would look like they're on course for a back-to-back.
From all accounts, from what I heard, is that they were just extremely clinical, and it was you know, about doing a job, and if those young fellas have bought into that mentality, well then I'd say Cavan Gaels will be hard beaten in this championship myself.
Yeah, definitely. But from Lacken point of view, they'll be disappointed. Now there was a few moments of absolute brilliance from Raymond Galligan at full forward. He scored 2 of the best points of the championship so far, with his left foot just catch, turn and hook from very difficult angles against the wind, and he got injured before half time, and that was a big blow to Lacken. Like, he tried to play on in the second half, but he wasn't. He was hobbling, so it was a disappointment. The other interesting thing, and I don't know if you had heard, but there's allegations of biting, that one of the Lacken players was bitten. Now again, I've seen a picture.
A snake or something?
I don't know.
Dog or
I've seen a picture of the player in question, and a picture of it. There is a bite mark on his arm, or it appears to be a bite mark on his arm.
Does Suarez play for Cavan Gaels?
I don't know if he does, but hopefully, look, I hope that didn't happen. I hope it's not true, but definitely the allegation is there, and it'll be. I'm sure that we'll hear more about that too, because it's not something that anybody would like to see in Gaelic football.
Absolutely not. And we'll move on to the next game there. Ramor and Killygarry. Killygarry were bitten by Ramor in this game, so there were Ramor 2 goals and 12
allegedly
points. Killygarry 2 goals and 9. Ramor with a 3-point win. As you saw, we had Owen Somerville on earlier on from Ramor United. They're going about their business and they're getting the results. They're doing it the hard way. Unlike the last few years, I was saying that to him, where they just breezed through, hammered all in front of them.
Yeah,
they've played a very good team in Kingscourt, struggled over the line, and now they've played Killygarry, who this year are exceptional. They're getting better with every game, and they got over them. Ramor could be there or thereabouts as well towards the end.
They could be. They definitely could be, and they have a
the
really good.
definitely.
They have a really good bunch of players there. And Jack Brady was very good for Ramor at the weekend. I have to say, he stood up and scored some brilliant points. And James McEnroe, another player that was absolutely excellent. So it's look at Ramor. Ramor will be they'll be humming nicely up there in Virginia at the minute. Kind of they're under the radar. They're not setting the world alight at the minute, but
yeah, they've brought a lot of attention on themselves nearly the last few years.
They did exactly by hammering teams.
Yeah.
But I will say for Killigarry, no team will want to play Killigarry, and 3 points probably flatters Ramor a little bit in that Killigarry were as good as Ramor on the day, and
Darragh Gannon had an exceptional game. I believe
Darragh Gannon was very good. Now he came on. He was excellent. Cathal Keeney was very good in corner forward. Out around the middle of the field, Ryan Brady actually was very good. I thought he'd done a lot of the running in the middle of the field for Killigarry. Martin Riley had a hit and miss day from open play. He was very good, but his frees were, I think he missed 3 or maybe missed 4 and scored 2. You know, so, and it was uncharacteristic of him to miss so many. But he was had he scored those, Killigarry probably could have won the game. It was a different. Pádraig Cahill had a very difficult hour because he was skin tight to Eddie Cole, but he just couldn't get the better of him. And Eddie Cole was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, he was saying that to me earlier on, that Eddie Cole was exceptional.
Yeah, he really was. Now I have to say he was excellent, and he's Gerard Pearson X. Like he's as good as
Gerard Pearson's ex.
I can't even talk to this. Esque. But you know, as in he the way he plays the game, it looks like he's so relaxed about it all the time. But his ball handling was brilliant. His kicking was exceptional, and he's a man that I would say Terry Hyland will be just putting one tick beside his name to say, I'll have another look at this boy now and see, because he's played very well for Ramor in the first 2 games, and I thought he was probably man of the match against Killigarry too.
Good stuff. And the last game in the senior championship saw Kilcullen's taking on Kingscourt, and this ended up in a draw, 1-7 to 10 points after extra time.
Not one for the purists.
Not one for the purists, but Kilcullen's coming off the beating that they got from Cavan Gales only a few weeks ago, 21 points or something, to come back and put it up to Kingscourt the way they did. And Kingscourt, I believe, had Barry Riley sent off for a red card, which means that he won't be available for the replay.
No, he wasn't. He was 2 yellows.
It was 2 yellows, was it?
Yeah, apparently 2 yellows. Now, from the account that I was told, he's lucky. He's very lucky it was 2 yellows. But yeah, no, he will. Now, I was just speaking to somebody that was at the game that said that it was 2 yellows, but the person told me that Barry should have got a red card.
Right.
But that's the
Barry,
way.
if you want to tweet us in and let
us know. Yeah. Give us your side of the story.
You know, we're never one-sided here. We're unbiased, as always. So if you want to let us know what really happened, what did he say? What did he say, Barry? You know, let us know.
But yeah, it is. The thing is now, I think that game is replayed Wednesday night coming. So, you know, it'll be in Kingspan Breffni Park more than likely. And is it their, you know, will Kilcullen get another chance? You know, you say the underdog gets one chance.
The thing about it is that if it was Cavan Gales, I'd say, right, good luck, good night, you won't be seen again. But, you know, it's not Cavan Gales, it's Kingscourt. I don't know, I think Kilcullen's will have learned an awful lot from that game. You know, and they might know where Kingscourt's strengths and weaknesses lie a bit better and whatever. And, you know, I still think it's nearly a local derby as well.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's not too far.
Well, and you have the Nia Lynch factor, Kilcullen's man managing Kingscourt. So, like, there won't be a lot in it, I wouldn't think. But from what I've heard of the game, it wasn't a great game of football. Kilcullen's got themselves back into it after a shaky enough start, I think, and then Kingscourt just didn't seem to have any answers and looked out of ideas. I think
Kilcullen's went in leading at the break as well, did they? 1-4 to 6 or something like that, or 1-3 to 5.
Could have.
Yeah.
Could have. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but I don't think there was a score in extra time at all. Or sorry, in the second half of extra time there was no scores.
Yeah, there was one score I think each in the first half of extra time.
The game finished 1-6 to 9.
Yeah,
and then after extra time it was 1-7 to 10. So it'll be very interesting to see. Kings Court, by all accounts, aren't playing the way we expect Kings Court to play. They're not reaching the heights that they did last year when they got to the final. They played some very, very good football. Even the year before, they played some excellent football as well.
If you think back to last year, I think it was Ramor they played in the quarter final.
Yeah, that's
Ramor
right.
should have been out of sight.
Yes, that's right.
Should.
That's right.
Ramor
were up by 6 or 7 points at half time in that game.
Yeah, 9 points I think it was at half time. I think it was 9 points at half time, and not only that, but they Ramor had missed maybe 4 goals.
Yeah,
the Snake was after
that's
making
right. James
Farley was after making some unbelievable saves in the first half of that. Like, so, and that's the Kings Court we expect to see. And they're not reaching them heights this year so far.
No, it just doesn't seem to be humming right. But Kings Court will always bring talent, and if they just click, they could blow away teams. So it'll just be interesting to see now Wednesday night. Can Kings Court turn their season around, because it hasn't been a great season for them so far. They haven't set the world alight. Yeah. They need a good victory to really set their year on.
Get their season going and get themselves into this championship.
Yeah, exactly.
There was 2 more games in the senior championship down scheduled to be played in Kingston Breffni Park yesterday, Sunday evening. But unfortunately, due to the beautiful weather conditions, the sun was shining. So the county board says, no lads, go away and enjoy the sunshine.
Stick on the barbecue.
Stick on the barbecue, get a couple of beers, and we call off them games. No, the inclement weather yesterday meant that 2 games in Kingston Breffni Park were called off. It was Ballinya and Mullahorn, and the other game was
Coothill and Killashandra.
Yeah, so we don't know when they're going to be played.
I'd say it's this coming weekend.
Yeah, it could be even midweek as well. Or is there a weekend off next week of senior championship?
No, don't think so. No, there will be games.
But as soon as we get those, I'd say the CCC tonight.
Yeah, they're meeting tonight.
CCC tonight will be
CCC are meeting to see if they will fix that game this weekend.
By the sea.
So
that brings us to the end of this week's show.
It's a nice short and sweet one.
Nice and short and sweet, and I don't think
a little bit dreary.
A little bit dreary. We were just not able to get up to the excitement levels that we usually do. It's what football can do to you. It can give you such great highs, but it can give you such terrible lows.
Yeah.
And, I don't know what I'm going to do for the winter now, because our league in Meath is finished. We're out of the championship now, unceremoniously kicked out of the championship by Nafina. You're out of the championship now, Killincare, league-wise.
We've 1 more game to play, that's it, and it's, against Butler's Bridge, so the whole thing will be winding down now, so it'll be, I suppose, I don't know, I might see if my wife wants to spend a bit of time with me.
Does your wife know you?
I don't think she very rarely.
No, I don't think
she doesn't. She doesn't really know me much anyway. But anyway, that's the way. That's the highs and the lows. That's what we love and we hate. We wouldn't have it any other way.
Wouldn't have it any other way. In Gaelic football, there always has to be a winner.
It does.
Remember, if you want to get in contact with the show, with your views, we'd probably not even listen to you. No, we'd be delighted to hear from you, to be honest with you, so you can
email us on GaelicFootballViews@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook by searching Gaelic Football Views, or you can follow us on Twitter, or just tweet us @GaelicFV.
It's all there across the front of the screen, so we'll leave that on the screen just for another second, because I know everybody has got their pens out there at the moment, and they're getting ready. So look, our thanks as always to our backroom team of Brian Daly. He's always there with us every week, week in, week out, and he does a fantastic job. We want to thank him for all the work.
And our thanks to Benny Sheridan and to Owen Somerville for coming in and having a chat with us earlier on.
Yeah, so look, basically it's until next week, it's good night and
God bless.